Everyone, got manager Bud Black here. Tracy, why don't you start us off? Go ahead, Tracy.
But it would seem like the early season problems with the bullpen, it's starting to sort out pretty well right now, the last few games.
Well, it's been better. Obviously, I have high standards, and so do the guys in the pen. The consistency, has to show up every night. I think, Trace, there are some guys who are gaining momentum. We have 9 guys down there, right? And, for us to have a solid every night bullpen, we need at least 6 or 7 of them pitching well, and maybe a couple guys off the mark. But there is signs of some guys throwing the ball better for sure. I like the way Daniel's throwing the ball. Gibbons has made a little resurgence here. Carlos, there's been a couple. There was a walk in Cincinnati leading off to India. Leadoff walk today, but he got the big strikeout and then the double play. I mean, some of these pitching principles we talk about have to be eliminated. I think Yancey, sort of a little bit on the comeback trail. But we need them all, right? Because they're all going to pitch. We got a stretch of games here, 5 games left on this homestand, tomorrow day game, and then 4 against the Brewers, who are a good club. So we got to continue. You got to pitch, Tracy. You know that. You got to pitch. And all 14 of these guys have to do their thing.
With some of the challenges you had with San Diego earlier this year, to see you guys come back the way you have the last 2 nights, encouraging?
Encouraging, it starts with with starting pitching that keeps you close. They got a good pitching staff. They got a really good pitching staff. And, tonight we got to them. They got a formidable bullpen. You look at what they've done statistically. You look at their strikeout numbers as a pitching staff. You look at their walks. You look at their hit rate. They've pitched outstanding, and we got to them tonight. And we got to a couple of their good guys, Darvish, Pagan, Hill. We got to their guys. So I'm proud of our guys that they put together some at bats and put the barrel through the ball. So it was a good game. It was a good game for us.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Yes, Buddy, you had said yesterday that you saw kind of a surge coming from McMahon. Was there anything you saw on the road trip, especially Cincinnati, with a couple of power hits that led you to say, hey, he's going to get it going?
Well, I think that, Mac is still learning, and he's making some adjustments, and I'm sure he'll talk to you guys tonight. But, Mac realizes that if he can cut his strikeouts down and put the ball in play, he's got a swing that can generate some power even when he shortens his swing or even when he chokes up. And I think you saw that tonight a couple of times, him getting up on the bat with 2 strikes. And one of them was a homer, and one of them, was the ball down the right field line. So, if you can handle the barrel of the bat and you can manipulate it by choking up a little bit and put the ball in play, good things will happen. And I think Mac's learning. I mean, into his 3rd year here, and I'm counting, last year 60 games as a full year, but he's getting better, and we're watching it before our eyes. So, and he's making adjustments, and I think he's starting to understand the value of putting the ball in play and shortening his swing with 2 strikes.
Did you allow yourself to think of a cycle there? I mean, obviously it was a close game, but you look up at the scoreboard and you see what he has.
Yeah, it was a double short, but it was a big night. And hey, listen, that ball, the sac fly, that might have been the hardest ball he hit all night. That was a bullet.
And also, you went to Hampson off the bench against the lefty Hill. He has really given you some good at-bats against the lefties. Could that be part of his role going forward, to come in and do those starting or off the bench?
We don't know we don't know yet where Hampy's going to end up, in his career. He's still a young player. He's got, 600 at-bats in the big leagues. That will be determined as he keeps going. But He's shown a knack for coming off the bench and getting big hits, which is a sign to me that he's prepared. He's clear thinking. He's watching the game. He's in the cage, and when called upon, he's ready. You ask any player who has been in the National League or has pinch hit, that's tough. You're coming off the bench cold, and you're facing a big league arm. I mean, it's tough duty. But he's come up with some big hits off the bench. But that shows me something about the mental wherewithal of a player when they're able to do that.
Thanks, buddy.
Patrick Saunders.
Hi. You guys got down early 4-0 and then came back to score 8. I know it's a long season, but would you say, was this one of the more satisfying or gratifying wins of the year?
Yeah, this was a good one. And we, in the coaches, when we were, shaking hands after the game, I think there was a number of guys who said, just in passing, that was a good one. To your point that we all knew that we were down 4-0 to a good team with a guy that's probably headed to the All-Star game in Darvish. He's a really good pitcher. But, we sort of drove his pitch count up a little bit. We had great at-bats. And then we put together some really good at-bats against the best bullpen in the National League. So, that was a good win for our guys. That was great.
And then I don't know if anybody's mentioned it yet. Chi Chi, he gave up 3 home runs in his last outing in Miami. He gives up an early home run here. But after the second inning, he took you through the 6th inning. He may be kind of overshadowed, but he gave you what you needed.
That was huge, no doubt about it. I think after the Darvish hit, there in the second inning to get it to 4-0, he got the double play ball against Pham, and then I think there was 6 consecutive ground ball outs. I have to look, but I don't think anybody got past first base after the second inning for the Pods. So that tells you how we pitched. But you're right. Chi Chi reeled it in. He and Dom, I think, found some answers as they went through the game, and that was the key to the game, keeping it right there to 4 runs for 4 runs for them to give us a chance to come back. But Chi Chi was great.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Owen Perkins, go ahead, Owen.
Yeah, just to follow up on Chi Chi a little bit. Could you tell what he did to make that adjustment and to be so solid for those last 4 innings? I think he retired 10 in a row and 13 of the last 15 after the 4th run.
I think the simple answer is he hit spots and made better pitches. But I think the changeup came into play tonight. I think that was a big reason, and we've talked about the changeup as a pitch that's truly an equalizer if you can locate it and get it down the strike zone, because it has the appearance of a fastball. So basically, it's the fastball and changeup combination really disrupts the timing of a hitter, and I think we saw that with Chi Chi. I think the slider got better; he kept it down the strike zone. There was a number of takes by their hitters that, were pitches on the corner. So that tells me that, he was making pitches. And I think that was, probably the key to the game was, he just continued to hit good spots. Where I assume the homer to Tatis was in the middle of the plate, where he hit it to right center. I assume the pitch to Machado was probably in the middle of the plate to double. So, after that, he made, I think the pitch to Darvish was probably a pretty good pitch, the one that he sort of lined down the right field line. Sort of stuck his bat out and, really don't like to say it, but it was a pretty good piece of hitting by the pitcher. That was a pretty good pitch, it looked like. So, but from that point on, he made a lot of good pitches, got the ball on the ground, got his grounders, had them off balance.
And given what you said about the bullpen overall tonight, to have a starter and 3 relievers who could give you 7 shutout innings in a row against this very good team. I mean, that's the kind of pitching you'd love to see consistently, right? I mean,
yeah, no doubt, Owen. I think that's, something we talk about. I think teams that win or teams that have good seasons have that consistency throughout the season. And, we've had that before here, prior to, the last couple of years. But, good pitching will eventually beat good hitting. And, the last couple of nights you've seen that. And that in the other 14 games that were played tonight, the same thing's going to happen. Good pitching will beat good hitting.
All right, thank you.
Okay, guys.
One more for you, buddy. Go ahead and close this out, Larry.
Okay.
Buddy, tonight we saw the combination of power and speed, and I know you've got to really feel good about seeing the potential these young players have. It's just a matter of getting the consistency. And how do you see that progressing as the season goes along?
Well, hopefully, Larry, we see that, growth from these guys. And, the guys we're talking about, the lesser service time players, and we've talked about it, but, Dawes is playing well. His at-bats are becoming more big league-like. Happy, I think he'll tell you that, there's more in there from him. Nunez, I thought, even though he didn't get any hits, had some better at-bats today. Rogers is he's learning. Had a couple of strikeouts, but he got the base hit up the middle to knock in a run. That was good. He's playing nice defense. Fuentes is, he's a ball player. He's going to do his part to help us win, and he's going to get some hits. He got some big hits earlier for us in the year, and that will, hopefully continue. So, and some of our younger pitchers, right, who will eventually get in games, they need to grow too. So I've said before, a lot of these guys are learning at the big league level. We're coaching them. We're trying to help them the best we can. The best experience is those guys going between the lines and experiencing big league games and, night after night after night. And it will pay off in the long run.
Okay,
guys,
buddy.
thanks.
Thanks for your time.